of National League. Lomo tax Lagos Island residents on use of refuse bin. Police arrest suspected armed robber in Ogun State. On insecurity, Huriwa advertised by Mohammed against false claims. No respite for subscribers as NIMC telcos outlets are overwhelmed. And on the Nation newspapers, bricklayers remanded over monarch's attempted murder. Grandma and teacher held over torture of 8-year-old. Many feel dead, houses burnt in Plateau and Ebonyi State. Nigeria eyes $22 billion global coconut market. And on this day newspapers, Oyetola says, expect more of dividends of democracy. New law will enhance National Human Rights Commission's performance. On rainstorm, 1 dead, 11 injured, houses destroyed in Niger community. OPC Vigilance Group pledges to protect Oni SDP against attacks in Ekiti. Don't blame Emefiele for depreciation of Naira, says group. And on the Daily Trust newspapers, on Kaduna attacks, embassies, international organizations cut off Northwest. Despite restoration of federal government's open treasury portal, financial records still missing. Exfiltrate spotted as terrorists release another video of captured train passenger. On Castilla local government poll, electoral body distributes sensitive materials. 2023 elections elect responsible leaders irrespective of age, says Dimeji Bankole. And finally, on the pen-pushing newspapers, captivity, Abuja Kaduna Railway attack victims in video begs Nigerian government to secure their release. And these are the headlines across different newspapers this morning. As you can see, a whole lot to talk about, a whole lot be going on at a time. Be a part of the conversation by sending us a text or a WhatsApp message on 070-317-56537. And we are being joined in this morning by Praise Olatubosun. Good morning, Praise. How are you doing?
Good morning, Esther. How are you?
I'm fine. How was the weekend?
It was great. Good to be back today.
Yes. Good to be back. I mean, there's
a lot happening, though. A whole lot at the same time.
But I mean, some of these things that we get about every day are things that if people actually choose to do the right thing, they are not conversations that should be heard. But for some reason, I mean, we're human beings, yes, I know, but when you have to talk about one thing over and over again, and it seems as though you're not having these conversations, it's actually heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking.
It is very heartbreaking.
Yes.
Tiresome.
Honestly, it is. And we're being joined in this morning by our analyst for the morning, Nkechi Emmanuel Layode Signal. Good morning, Signal. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, Esther. Good morning, and good morning to everybody in the studio, and of course, our family, our listeners and family.
Yes. How are you doing today?
Fine, very fine. It has been an interesting weekend.
Yes, it has.
It detoxifying weekend for me personally, and when people say detoxify, it's not only when you do something to your feet or there are different outward kind of detoxification, and that's great. But for me, there's also an internal detoxification, and so really good. Took our time to write some thoughts on the happening in Nigeria currently, and that was helpful for me.
All right, good to know. Thank you for joining us this morning. So
yes, thank you.
This weekend had like a whole lot of conversations, and this one breaks my heart so much because this thing is something that over time we have talked about it, but for some reason the society has not just allowed women that freedom to be able to choose or make their own decision without accusing fingers flying here and there. And we're going to be starting off with this one on the Punch newspapers. Police arrest husband of late popular singer Osinachi. Now, Peter Nwachukwu, the husband of late popular gospel artist Osinachi Nwachukwu, has been arrested by the police over the death of his wife. Now, news came first on Friday evening that this lady had passed on, and she died from complications of throat cancer and all. When I first saw that, I was like, oh, no. Of all things to die by, throat cancer. Oh, this woman blessed us with her music, her songs, and everything. While we're still talking about that one, more news came up that no, she did not die of throat cancer, and that she died as a result of domestic abuse over time, and how her husband has treated her so unfairly. And so many people also came out to also say the same thing, that yes, they knew she was going through all of this. Now, when you talk about social media courts, people are always ready to talk. Now, some people were of the opinion that these people coming out to talk now, what did you do to help her? Even if the person, sometimes when you are the one in the situation, you really don't know the level of effect or damage that thing is doing to you. It is also only somebody who is seeing it from the outside that can say, no, you cannot continue in this thing. But now, at this point, this poor lady has lost her life for something that could be averted. Fingers are flying everywhere. People are pointing to the religious centers, the friends who did not say anything, her family members who were not proactive in bringing her out. Because I see no reason why a man would tell your sister not to visit your the siblings or visit their home or anything, and you will be fine by it. You should know there's something wrong about that marriage from the beginning, Signal.
Yes. Absolutely, Esther, and we can use the whole week to talk about this. Actually, we can use the whole week and we won't repeat ourselves. This was particularly the story I took out time to write about, and I want to release that. The emotions are flying in different places, and rightly so, because this lady was religion. This lady blessed lives with our voice and all that. So this lady was actively, every human is actively contributing to society, or has the potential at least. But this lady had found her own potential and she was actively contributing. And we hear, the second story comes out, which happens to be the true story. And of course, I don't need to call names, like I said, there's social media, everybody can go and check. There's different celebrities in their own right that are coming out to doing Instagram lives and whatnot. And one of the things I wrote in my article is, and I'll paraphrase now, we really need to pay attention to what we mean when we say we care for a person, especially in our circle. I'm not saying you can't go and hold somebody outside of the circle. Of course, the person in that person's circle should be responsible for them. But when you say you care for a person, let me be specific. She's a gospel artist, church, and all that was a thing. So let me be more in the church, especially. This whole thing of when they slap her, and I saw it. The other day, all those other things that people were saying, these are things, even if it was anonymously, something should have been picked up or something. Yes, I understand the point where we have different battles, and it's not all the battles are going to choose to fight. We're not going to choose to fight all the battles. Some things are just not going to be something you can put your mouth in, especially if the person involved doesn't want the mouth to be put in. But it's something to. And when I heard some of all of the people that comes ahead, there were some who had the audacity, as you call it, to do it more than the others. There were so many people came in as a guest recording artist. Okay, that one could come and say, but it's just really strange that all of these things happen. That people are like, hey, and I knew. And I'm not okay. Well, my point, I'm taking it in order, so I will still come to that. Okay. So the point of many people knowing and saying, I really don't know what I'm supposed to do, because let me tell you, that can never be me. But if I knew, I will not come out to talk because I'll be so ashamed. So this one, everybody is talking, shouting, like, so we're supposed to clap for you that you knew or you saw something, and then so what are we supposed to do? It's nothing to be proud of. It's not. I'm not saying that they're proud of it. Yes, I'm not saying they are proud of it, but if not, please, let's take it to the police station. Something, all this, everybody talking about it, for me particularly.
Hello, Nkechi, can you hear me? Oh, I think we lost connection there. We'll try to reconnect with Signal this morning. Yes, so many hot takes on this particular issue. And my point is, when you say you care for somebody, you said this person is your friend or you are close to this person. How long do you wait till you see a certain issue consume the person before you can step in?
Okay. Well, sometimes what I observed with this issue of domestic violence, like one that was happening with some of our tenants in Port Harcourt, the husband was always dealing with the wife or anything at all. They isolate them from every other person. Sometimes when we first moved in, the husband told us that she was sick in the head. And this lady is a health practitioner. She's a nurse and she works with the government. She was also a businesswoman. So she did most of the providing in the house.
Okay.
So the man told us that she was sick in the head. And I think what actually was the issue is whenever she was pregnant, she usually had this mental problem that comes with some ladies when they're pregnant, they have this ailment. They're not able to think very well during that period until they give birth. So it started with her third child and she had 7 children for him. So it was, at least from time to time, she would have that experience and then she wouldn't be able to work. She would just be staying in one corner. So he told all of us that she's not well. And so we used to give her distance. So even when we hear crying and all of that, nobody will say anything. So it took a long time. It took about, I think they lived with us in our neighborhood for 7 years. I was not in university. I went to university. I graduated, went for NYC. Came back home. So I think my exposure that time during NYC, interaction with people outside the house, when I heard one cry one night, I felt this is not a cry of a man. I need to go and see what was happening.
What was happening? All right, thank you very much for that praise. Sijna, I think we have you back on now.
Yes, but thank God. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear
you. What happened the last time. All right. So I think though I was just concluding that point before moving on to another point, which that we insist if you find out about something in your environment, it's your responsibility. That's what we talk about on the newspaper review, day in, day out, week in, week out. We can't be saying like, so is the president going to come and report the case? Because when people are very quick to jump on the president, and I'm not there for their own responsibilities, you should hold them accountable. But this one is not even your local government, so you are the one that is aware of this. So you are the one to alert and more people, whatever the case may be. I know that there are some things in the work and some that are even currently existing where you can the BFM now even report these kind of cases even anonymously if you don't want your name. So it's so shameful. All this, no, you can report it and also do your own and go. There are some shows I watch and all this kind of because I watch it a lot, and that is how some people do over there. They don't want to, but they just report it, they drop it, see, this is it, you go and investigate. So that if anything happens, you say, I dropped it with this and this, they assured me that they will investigate. If they not when people have a healthy dose of personal responsibility,
we do.
I don't want to say unfortunately, fortunately, but many people don't like to accept or receive it. The other thing I wanted to say and print is that, of course, our listeners listening to us is that you see this self-worth, self-value, and identity. It's not a thing for young girls in teenage in their secondary school. It's not a thing for people who came from poor background. It is a message and it is a thing that women, even if you are the founder of 10 corporations, are supposed to continually learn every day. That way, you are going to know when you are to walk away. That's what now brings respect for yourself. You're going to know when to walk away from what and when not to walk away from what. These conversations a lot of times happens online different ways. People say self-respect, respect yourself. But this is the case where unfortunately it seems as though this singer did not have enough of it. It's a different thing to be great at your gift. It's another thing to be able to internalize and understand that self-worth and value that you have. Because let me tell you what it is. This is a brief version I've shared of what I wrote. When you have self-worth, self-respect, the identity, you are going to be able to walk away from things that do not serve you, despite what people will say. She left home, they were going to talk. It was going to be a news, divorce, blah, 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 blah. If she did not leave home, she's still a news. So, but which means is better, the one of her living. Yes, she made a mistake or whatever in the marriage at the beginning. Okay, all right, that's why we do a lot of premarital talk. But at least she had learned that she's alive. Praise the Lord. Damn.
But Nkechi, you would agree with me.
Not talking about.
You would agree with me that
What and
the
that?
society has not really allowed women to do so. So a lady shared a particular story on social media, I think on Saturday. I read it and I was like, what is this? So the lady said her mother left an abusive marriage and that members of a religious center were coming to meet her to say, oh, why would you leave? This. The devil is trying to attack your home and you're giving him chance and all of that. Only for a particular time. I think she said maybe Mother's Day or Women's Day or something in the church. And her mother was going to join. And they told her mother, yeah, you are not in your husband's house. What are you? What is your happiness? Why are you joining us? And that was how, like, you can imagine. So if there was another woman in that setting who was thinking of taking that bold step of leaving, hearing all of that, she would want to stay back.
Exactly. That's what people have been shouting in the competition this weekend. That, oh, the church, do something about it. Do something about it. I know that there are some churches that are doing something about it, but more needs to be done. And there's a way to do these things with reason. Nobody is saying. I know that the church, they're trying to protect the fact that they don't want it to look as if there should be a graduation of divorces. And so obviously emphasis on premarital and all that is needed. But we also need to emphasize that if it's just if it's not working, we're not saying if the person did not, annoy you or something like that, all these things that can be reconciled. We're talking about cases like domestic violence. There are different cases. Exactly, and your life is at stake, or even your mental. Sometimes it may not be physical, but your mental sanity as well. So all those things are the things of the decision has been called out a lot this weekend. We hope something can be done. And I would finalize with this case before we say another angle of the story or any other story you want us to take. I think with this case, with this point rather, this I've said it already. For me, I will continue to say it. Okay. We have, and I'm talking to. I know that domestic violence is being all over the world. That's something to acknowledge. But I'm talking about Nigeria now. This case is exclusive to Nigeria. Okay. In Nigeria, one of the root causes that I have found out and is tested and trusted of domestic violence is the way people have been trained. Let's talk about men now, of course. Let's talk about the men as the people causing this thing now. Okay. It's the way they have been trained in terms of their tribes, their religion, to see women. Let me tell you something, Esther. If you see a person as lower than you, lesser than you, or a property, there is no how you will not feel like slap should touch that person. There is no thing is not going to happen. So I've said it. The other time I was talking with Dr. We're talking about the different ways to solve this. And I was saying, for example, this man is an Igbo man, for instance. It happens across different cultures. Use these Igbo politicians, Igbo influencers who will do the happen. Anyway, Igbo leaders, all these people, let them talk to their men on how they see or how they see their women, on the change of mind of how they see their women. And let everybody, all those different cultures and that have it. And it's across. So I'm just calling this as an example so that and then people can get it. So let them talk to these people. It needs to come from the culture, it needs to come from the tribe, it needs to come from the growing up that these people get, the understanding. And of course, the saying, we know this thing, but that's what domestic violence thing go about them in the sense that what people see, if you see a parent slapping a woman, whatever, those are the things they're going to emulate. So we also need to be careful. But in this case, so this person is already a grown person. While that is that, and it's true that the culture is also part of the problem in terms of how some men see women, you also need to take responsibility for your life. It is so shameful to find out that man was a member of a church. I'm disgusted. I have to say it that way. Was a member of a church and he had the audacity to do it. So for me, it is a call for all of us to go back, especially in the church space, to say, what are we really teaching? Are people really impacted, or are people just coming to catch fun and catch cruise? That's number one. Number two, what is our measurement for growth now? We keep talking about how this country will move when there's the active participation of religious bodies. So what's the measurement of growth? If the church keeps saying that their measurement of growth is when 1,000 members join, okay. So what are the lives of the current 200 members? Their growth and their becoming, if you're part of your matrix system, these are important conversations that religious bodies need to start having, both the mosque and the church. That way we can be able to hold people accountable and more accountable. Yes. And many other things that we have to talk about regarding the case.
All right. Thank you very much, Signal, for that. You can be a part of the text, the conversation this morning. Send us a text or a WhatsApp message on 070 317 56537. 070 317 56537. It is 8 minutes to 8 on your Women Radio, WFM 91.7. And this is the Newspaper Review. The Newspaper Review is where we get to discuss and analyze different news stories across different Nigerian newspapers. My name is Esther Alaribe, and I have with me Praise Olatubosun. Our analyst for this morning, this segment, is Nkechi Manuel Layode Signal. All right, Praise, let's hear you.
Okay, there's this other headline coming from the Punch newspaper, and it's on the Kaduna-Abuja train attack. Terrorists release fresh video of kidnapped victims. Now, terrorists who attacked the Abuja-Kaduna train and killed 8 people have released fresh hostage video showing their victims in an unidentified location suspected to be in a forest. The Chief Executive Officer of Nigeria's Bank of Agriculture, Alwan Ali Hassan, who was recently released, was flagged by the abductees in the new video. The masked terrorists wore military uniforms and stood behind the abductees in the video released on Sunday. Some of the captives were calling on the government to come and rescue them. One of them is a lady who is identified herself as a student of Kaduna State University. Another man said he was on his way to Kaduna for eye treatment when he was abducted. The attack on the train between Abuja and Kaduna happened on the 28th of March, and it saw terrorists detonate a bomb on the track and open fire on the train. So, as of Monday, 4th of April, the whereabouts of about 168 passengers were still unknown, according to the Nigerian Railway Corporation. So now the terrorists have released a video parading their victims, their abductees, saying that the abductees are telling the government to please come to their rescue. And we did hear that the CEO of the Bank of Agriculture was released, but according to this news story, they are saying he was also in the video.
Maybe they had made the video before they released him because he was just recently released.
Okay, he was just recently released. Perhaps the video was a lot older. So they were asking the government to come to their aid. This is the style they used usually when they abduct people. They try to parade them to ask what exactly are they trying to do?
Okay, so they are trying to show their boldness. That's one thing that I got when I read the story. In fact, as a matter of fact, the fact that they can release somebody, in the matter that I dare you, come and find us. That's a strong message. To release somebody alive, like go and tell them, because of course the person who was being released is going to ask a lot of questions. He's going to be asked a lot of questions. Of course, I don't expect to be printed in newspaper like, oh, where was this? How was this? All of those things. But it's the idea in the statement. We're not afraid. Go. Or whatever the ransom, I heard there was a ransom, something was not ransom. Whether there was a ransom or not, it's still a statement. Go. And then let me see how they want to find us. Now, that's big. That's bold. And for me, personally, I just started to think that is there some sort of backing that these people have with such fierceness and boldness within the country, possibly? Is there some sort of backing, or what gives them so much confidence? That's what I see. That's what I see. Yes, I know it's a practice over the world with these terrorists, release video and all that, but when you release a person, there's so much confidence. Maybe you want to move away from your old location or whatever the case may be. So, here is now the time where the talk needs to move to action, because we learn a lot. I can't remember who his exact position.
Okay.
But anyways, it's the leader in the soldier continues to say, I remember his name, I'm trying to remember his name, that continues to say, we would find it, we are going to make a way, we are going to do it. Okay. Then now is the time, because they are giving a lot of tip off, or they are giving some tip off. I don't know if it's a lot or if it's enough, depending on intelligence, to use what you have to get what you want. But there's a lot of back in this story. A lot of times we've even spoken a lot about this story particularly, but it shows boldness, and it shows boldness. It shows a bold government to also be willing to tackle the problem. Because when you look at the education headline, which I'm not sure if we'll have time to take, you see people we're still doing educational budget.
Okay.
And popcorn. But so the question for me, it begs the question of, are we really serious about the things we prioritize in this country? Because you're going to need a lot of budget and need a lot of money to be able to tackle this. You need intelligence, that's necessary, but also the money and the logistics to make sure that you tackle these people, so till you get them. And how it's going to happen, we'll keep praying and we'll keep trusting, and we'll then now see and expect results, at least as soon as possible.
Thank you very much, Sydney, for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Esther.
Yes.
I'm so grateful.
Thank you so much, Sechinel.
Do have a great day.
Thank you, Prince. You too. All right, bye.
Oh, yes. And yes, that was it from Nkechi Emmanuel Layode Sejnel. And these are her thoughts on these two stories that we've taken so far. On the issue of this video coming out, honestly, just like Nkechi said, it is actually making a statement to say, oh, yes, we have these people with us and we can decide what to do with them, if we want to release them or if we want to hold them captive. But really, well, first off, I mean, no government is going to sit and fold its hands and just wait for a miracle. Actions have to be put in place to ensure that, yes, that this is being, these people are being released and safely is another thing. Now, talking about this whole thing, releasing one person, yes, there are a lot of conversation around. Some people paid the ransom. People who cannot afford it are the ones that are still there. That is another conversation entirely. We have our analyst, our second analyst for the morning, Adeyemi, Adeolu Adeyemi, who's joining us this morning. Good morning, Adeyemi. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm good, thank you, sir.
I'm fine, thank you, Adeyemi. How was your weekend?
It's cool, thank you.
Yes. Good thing you joined us at this time. So we're talking about this particular headline on the Punch newspapers. Train attack, terrorists release fresh video of kidnapped victims. And in this video, the abductees were asking for the government to come and release them. They want to leave. I mean, you can imagine leaving your house one day and the next minute you are being held captive somewhere. I mean, it's a very, very sad thing.
It's a pathetic situation, actually. Honestly, I not expect to this program.
Okay.
Why am I saying that? If on that very day of the attack, like we gathered from reliable information that the soldiers are immediately went there to repel these people, then that means they ought to have been prepared. You know, what they call no retreat, no surrender. There ought to be a particular thing killing these people to wherever their hideout could have been. So by now, all those hostages could have been, released. So I'm surprised. I wonder what we do. I just think that the moment they went there to, repel the attack, and after those people escaped, they just let them alone without any follow-up, without any trial. That is why these people are still having these people at their disposal, which is actually wrong. And now you see the money is not flowing out.
Okay.
That is why the something for agriculture could easily be released. The family claimed that they paid ransom. Now, what about those people that do not have that money that they are asking for? And now what we are even looking at, when you look at the scene of the crime, it is right inside government facility that this thing took place, which is the train, which ought to have been protected, well secured by the government agencies. If that is not being done and we have this situation at hand, then the normal thing is for government to come to the rescue of these people. They don't need to cry to government to come to their rescue because government knows what to do. It is the responsibility of the federal government of Nigeria to rescue these people in whatever way they know they can do. Just protect it. They don't have to beg for their relief before the government will do anything about it.
Okay, sir, I have a question for you, and it's from history has it. We know that the Nigerian Armed Forces has been one of the most respected in Africa. They helped out with Sierra Leone, they helped out with Liberia, and did an excellent job, maintained peace in the place, and fought the rebels. Now, why is it that we're having a difficulty fighting in our own country terrorism? Our people are being stolen away, children are being stolen away on a regular basis. We hardly have it that we don't hear that they stole away some new people. They're always stealing people and keeping them away. And to get these people out is what's difficult. We had this experience where some American expatriates who were working in a mining place here in Nigeria were stolen away, and in the next, it didn't take up to a week. They were recovered, all of them, and their abductors were held back. They were slaughtered, and one was left to tell the story. That was what was in the news at the time. So, why can't we? Do we need help from outside? What is happening? What exactly is going on with the armed forces and with the federal government?
Thank you. As a matter of fact, we don't need any help from anywhere. The truth is that the military are capable. But the problem we have is the sincerity of the sitting government. Are they ready to tackle the insurgents? This criminal act that is ongoing in Nigeria? That's the fundamental that we need to know. And when you look at it, from what I even read in circulation and from every indication, whether we like it or not, we know that definitely some people are feeding fat regarding this issue that we have at hand. So that's one of the reasons why you think that we are not providing any solution. I was thinking about it just before I came on air, that, okay, we are talking about the land space. We are talking about the entity Nigeria. Is Nigeria that big that people can be hiding anywhere that they cannot be located? Are there no phones that these people are using? Can the phones not be tracked? All these are the questions that we need to ask. And the best thing as it is today, if they are not ready to do anything, from every indication from the way things are going, it is for us Nigerians to rise up together. If we don't challenge the government, they will not do the missions. And that's the truth, because whether we like it or not, we all are not safe. We are not safe, no matter where you live. If you live in a fortified estate or fortified house, you are going to go on the road. You are still going to travel. You are going to leave your domain. You are going to leave your house to the major road. And on the major road, the person can even be kidnapped. So what are we saying? We are living in an atmosphere that is not safe. So what are we going to do about it? What we are to do about it is for us to have one voice. We must all unite. It does not matter your religious background. It does not matter your ethnicity background. We must all unite as Nigerians and raise our voices. It must be one. Our voices must be one. We must charge against this problem. Keep not. We will continue the same story over the time. And that's what we see playing out.
All right.
That's the only way out. We have to voice, we have to stand. If it's protest, we have to protest. It is allowed. It is in the constitution. When whatever the government is doing to the people, it does not suit them. It's not conformable to their standard of living, and they can no longer take the oppression. They have the right to go and protest. So I think if Nigerians could all stay one day or 1 week, let us all go out and protest against the evil of this government. It is their doing, whether we like it or not. As long as they are not public, it is their doing.
I mean, we don't want to go that lane, having people go out to protest. I mean, you know what happened the last time, so let's not even talk about that right now.
Let's look at it. What happened the last time is the failure of the Nigerian people. We let just the quite few numbers of youth to carry on the challenge then. So they took the opportunity to harass those children, to harass those youth. Keep all Nigerians, I'm not saying just a section, I'm talking about all Nigerians. Yes, as a whole, whether you are Hausa, you are Yoruba, you are people, whatever you are, no matter your religious background, let's come together. They will know that, yes, we do not, we are tired of this situation. How can they continue to kidnap? How can they continue to kill? How can they continue to destroy homes and properties? And the government is sitting there watching. It is something wrong.
Okay.
You are not safe on the road anymore. Even your house, you are not safe because they are adopted.
Thank you for that, Adeyemi. It is 8:08 on Your Women Radio, WFM 91.7, and this is the newspaper review. My name is Esther Laribe, and I'm here with Praise Olatubosun. And our analyst currently is Adeyemi Adeolu, and we're discussing the issue of the abductees who were seen in the video appealing for the government to come rescue them so they can be home safely. Send us a text or a WhatsApp message on 070-317-56537, 070-317-56537. We have this message here from Rosenje Mutina Lakbari, and it says, "Good morning, dear presenter. Good morning to you. It is obvious that AGF Malami is not only an enemy of the country and the masses, but a stumbling block to the growth of democracy in this country. With his moves to discard Section 84, subsection 12 of the amended Electoral Act, his selfish interest of becoming Kebbi State governor while using the country's money to fund his campaign is only becoming clearer. This should further convince the electorate that APC PDP has nothing to offer come 2023. Bad followers can only produce bad leaders." Adeyemi, with what Rosenje has said, with all of the whole agitation on the amended Electoral Act, what are your thoughts on this? Do you agree with what Rosenje has said?
Absolutely. You see, I was actually going through a section of the Constitution this morning, and I look at it. Let me be precise. That's the chapter 2 of the Constitution, where it states all the responsibility of the government to the people, to the citizens of Nigeria, and how they have failed. This is part of what we have said. They have failed. The insecurity is one of the major cardinals in the Constitution. They have failed. Condition of welfare state, they have failed. Hardship is everywhere. Times are hard. You cannot sleep, you cannot eat, no job. They have failed in every sphere. And now talking about what this, we find out that even everything they are doing in government, we must be honest with ourselves. It is not to our benefit. I wonder what it is understood by the word governance. What do we do understand by the word governance in Nigerian context? I don't understand. I don't know. Governance is for you to administer the resources of the state for the betterment, for the welfare, for the prosperity of your citizens.
Okay.
That is governance. Governance is not for you to encumber the burden of your citizens. That's not governance. It's not governance. What we keep playing out today, it means we don't have government of the people, by the people and for the people. What we have is a dictatorial government in place that encumbers the bodies of the people. That is the kind of government and the system that we run in Nigeria. If we are saying there is a democratic dispensation, we are lying. Absolute lie. And I look at another chapter in that section that talks about the federal character. Looking at the position of everything, you find out that a section is dominant, which is against the section, the process in the constitution. So why are we saying we are running? There's no government in place. All we are just doing is ruling. And when you are ruling, you don't listen to the people, you only do what you want to do. And that's exactly what they are doing in this country. That's why all the resources, all of them, whether you like it, wherever they have, whatever position they are occupied, you see that all the resources that ought to be used for the welfare of the citizens of this great country, all of them, they are embezzling it for propagate their ambitions, whether governor, senators, House of Representatives, presidency, all this stuff. They are all after. That is why you see that times are hard in Nigeria today. I wonder now you saw what the reports, the financial position that they ought to be printing out, publishing, how so many accounts are missing. This is to tell you that they don't care about you and that. They believe that they are gods, they are not gods. And we ought to make them understand that it is your power and my own, our right, that we all collectively give to them so that they can manage the affairs of this country. And if they are not doing that, then we have the right to say no and say, vote no confidence in them, then let us root it out.
All right.
Talking about coming 2023, if care is not taken, whether we like it or not, these two parties are the dominant parties in Nigeria. And let's ask ourselves as Nigerians, have we any other party that is in place that we already are looking at? And are we so Nigerians so called ready for this 2023 that we want to overhaul the system of want a total change?
Talking about
what we have been experiencing over the years.
Adeyemi, talking about the 2023 general election. So Engineer Wale Nikorodu sent this message and he says, okay, he started off with the first story we took. He said, women in abusive marriages should speak up to avoid going to their early graves. Men of God should stop advising women in abusive marriages to endure their marriage in the guise of the Holy Book doesn't support divorce. On Amici and Osibanjo declaring to contest for presidency, though they are entitled to contest, but I don't think they should be given a chance to govern this country because they are part of the rot of this government. We need new, vibrant, young, proactive, credible, and capable people who can save us from the mess that this government has put us in. Thank you very much, Engineer Wale. Do have a pleasant week yourself also. Yes, so I was reading something over the weekend and somebody said something as in the line of who is not running for presidency in 2023. Almost everybody's running.
Yes, almost everybody's running. That's very true.
Yeah,
I will soon go and declare.
Like almost everybody is running for. Like we don't even understand. Like we have a whole lot on our hands where people need to look inward and look for solutions. But everybody seems to be talking about the presidential elections, what they intend to do, and all of that. Seems as though they don't feel the pulse of the people to an extent.
Yeah, you see, thank you, Wale, particularly for the observation. And talking about 2023 and everybody coming out to run for the presidency, you see, that's why I said these two parties are put in two dominant parties that we have in Nigeria. And we are, as citizens of Nigeria, is there any consensus party outside these two dominant parties? Are there any candidate that we all are looking at an upright candidate that can take us out of this mess? And don't forget, if we want to really have a total change, it has to be changing every guard. What I mean by changing every guard is every political office holder that are in this present dispensation and those that have been in the affair of this government in the past that still wants to come back. These people who are dominant in these two major parties that we have in Nigeria. And even those who have gone to other parties, because you know that there are those who are already running to other parties because of they are not being given the opportunity in their APC and PDP. These are the people that we really need to look at and how we can do away with them come 2023. And that is why Nigerians, we must all sit up. We can't just be reiterating like we are doing now, speaking, talking, without having a particular channel. We must have a channel to see whether we like it or not. I've said it before, and you see, democracy is expensive. We must be honest with ourselves. And we are talking about the captain of industry in Nigeria to achieve. We are the main problem that we have when it comes to the economic state of this business. Because they are the ones that are dominating everything. They are the ones that are bringing high in prices of commodities, of goods and services in this nation. So it is difficult for them to sponsor an upright candidate in Nigeria because they are one of the people that are benefiting largely from this government and even the government in the past. Except we Nigerians, I don't know how we can coordinate it. If Nigerians we are fully ready, we are tired of the system that we have been subjected to over the years, then I think we must have a person who is upright and not just a person, group of people, those who will be governors of states, those who will be in the House of Assembly of State, those who will be at the National Assembly, and they both at the House of Rep and the Senate.
At all levels.
We must have them in place. That's the only way we can hope. If those votes are not voted out, let's put a good person as the president of Nigeria and upper person. The people at the National Assembly will make life unbearable for you. You will not be able to govern properly because they will always come up with their ethics and they will always tell you that they are going to teach you pressurizing that person, that it will lose the focus. So those people at the National Assembly also must be rooted out.
Adeyemi.
Not one must be brought back. If we really want to change. And so it is in all the states.
All right, Adeyemi. Keep your text and WhatsApp messages coming in on 070-317-56537. 070-317-56537. We have a message here from Abiola in Ikeja, and it says, Happy New Week, Esther. Happy New Week to you too, Abiola. With the state of insecurity in this country, I sometimes laugh because it has collapsed, and some government officials will come out to the media to say security is better than where we were 7 years ago. The president borrowed millions of dollars to buy equipment for security forces, and yet look at the states where we find ourselves. Now they will blame the previous government. Why are we deceiving ourselves in this country? We said we need the youth to run for presidential election, and yet look at the amount the form is being sold for. Secondly, the old politicians have refused to give the youth the chance. So how do we get the youth to run for presidency? We have another message here from Kike in Oshodi, and it says, our political space needs total liberation. Like Esther, you mentioned something this morning that if only people do the right thing, we will not be having all of these issues. Yes, Adeyemi, going by what Abiola has said, saying that the cost of the form and the youth do not really have like the enabling environment to run for offices in 2023. How true is that?
I said it earlier. I said democracy is expensive. Whether we like it, outside the form. The form is that it has to do with the party. So they are the one that put the number, the amount they want to put on it. That's put on their discretion. But outside that, the talk is just a minor thing. It's a minor thing. What about the logistics? The person having to travel the whole 36 states. for campaign.
Mm.
You understand? Not only going on the road, but going through the air and so many things. So these are the troubles that we have at hand. That is why you see that the money bags are the ones dictating the truth. Whether we like to, people in developed world, it is simple. Or the fact is that, are we really ready for a change?
Mm.
Let me talk about you. What category of youth are you looking at?
Okay.
Because I tell you, somebody 15 above is also a youth. And we will not just bring somebody who is 30 years old and tell him to run the affair of this. There are so many measures that come back with so many problems. So what we are looking at is technocrats, those who have managed certain systems and are successful, who have vision. You see, what we need are visionary leaders.
Okay.
But without visionary leaders, that is why we can have a great change in Nigeria. All that we have been having over the years are just people who wanted only just to come to power to bear the name of the president of Nigeria and enjoy all the luxury that comes with it. No. That's why you see them traveling, crossing here and there, enjoying the place, enjoying everything. Even the security boards, they don't know what to do with it. Other than for them to go and save it in their bag. Security boards are for emergency, security emergency, like we are having in different states in Nigeria. But where are the security boards? When you have to ask the governor. I remember a case where Baba doing Ladoja and
Hello, Adeyemi, can you hear me? Okay. Please go ahead.
Okay. Like I said, that the security board, you saw that even Adeyemi was actually fought.
Hello. Okay.
One point is, and one point, another part for Ladoja. Is that the end of security board? No. So these are the problems that we are having until we have visionary leaders. And we should not forget, whether we like it or not, Nigeria today, there is a particular part of Nigeria that is not developed based on the first visionary leader that we had in the area. When you talk about the development in Nigeria in the 60s, 70s, you will find out that the Western Nigeria is more developed. Why? Because of the stage, because of the visionary leader, because of the man that has the love for the people in his heart, the man that knows that development can only take root when you educate your people. This is what you saw, and that is why you can see that there is a great disparity between the south and the north, because most of the leaders in the north are not here for themselves, because they believe that the time we can work are meant to worship the rituals among them. This is absolutely wrong. This is not democracy. That is not governance. That's the honest truth. That's not governance.
All right. Thank you very much.
We need visionary that can lead us come 2023.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Adeyemi, for your analysis this morning. Thank you for taking our time to join us this morning. Hello, Adeyemi. Yes, do have a great day.
It was really nice being with you, sir.
Yes.
It was really nice being with you. Have a great day.
Yes. And that was it from Adeyemi Adeolu. This message here from Rosandia Mutili Nalakbare says, to have visionary leaders who will move this country forward, we must first have visionary followers. Leaders are once followers, and bad followers will only produce bad leaders. So what Rosandia is saying is that for you to be able to change anything in any office as a leader, what did you do when you were a follower? So a lot of times when things happen, we just point fingers at the government. You as an individual, praise in your own space. What are you doing to ensure that this change that we talk about, this change that we want, actually comes to fore? Because A lot of times when you see people go about their daily activities, so this is how you are as a person. And imagine such a person goes into public office. What do you expect? I mean, the leaders of these nations, I mean, they're not brought from anywhere.
And that place, they're a product
of the society.
Leadership are a product of the people. So we only get the kind of leadership that we have created. The kind
of people that we are is what we see.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a whole lot has been said. And yes, we pray that the soul of Osinachi Nwachukwu rest in peace. Women, please learn to love yourself. Put yourself first. Before anything, learn to put yourself first. Because, I mean, for some reason, if this one had been able to put herself together to say, no, it is me before this marriage, understand that you were a person first before you became a wife. Whatever commitment that ties you because you are alive.
Exactly.
Because you are alive. This man just popped in from Yabo in Oshodi, and he says democracy is a scam in Africa. We are not ripe for democracy. And as a result, people can come together to resolve their differences. When the leaders of a country are plunging the country into disappear, can't the military and armed forces wade in and correct such government? Yabo, do you know what you're asking for?
We've had this before.
This is what we call it.
I wanted to ask you something. So are you looking forward to 2023 elections? It seems to be like, I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, I mean, that's why we're here. We're looking forward to seeing everything play out. And yes, hopefully we hope and we pray for a peaceful, free, and fair elections. This is what we call it a wrap on the newspaper review this morning. Thank you for taking out time to join us. Thank you for your texts and WhatsApp messages. Thank you for your contributions on the show. Do well to stay tuned on WFM 91.7. My name is Esther Alaribe, and I've had with me
Praise Allah to Boston. Have a fantastic day.
Yes, keep it locked down on Remain Radio 91.7. At 9 is the news at 9. And at 9:05 is Panorama. Good morning.
Be aware, COVID-19, also known as coronavirus, is a global pandemic and it is here in Nigeria. But you can protect yourself and loved ones if you avoid spitting in public, if you clean and disinfect frequently touched objects. Remember, if you have fever, cough, and difficulty